Good evening and welcome to the Buncombe County Board of Education regular meeting for Thursday, September the 4th. Our mission of Buncombe County Schools is to foster a culture of excellence and continuous improvement where every student will thrive and learn from exceptional educators. Our vision is for every student to graduate on time, prepared to pursue their chosen path as critical thinkers and collaborative leaders in a diverse society. With that, I will call the meeting to order, and if we will please rise for the presentation of colors. Tonight's colors are presented by Chief Tony Gutierrez, Army retired, and First Sergeant Chad Pravitt, Army retired, and the JROTC from Irwin High School. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, colors. Right face. Forward, march.
Thank you. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Tonight, I ask that you consider those in our community who may be grieving the loss of a loved one, a colleague, or a friend. Thank you. You may be seated. Good evening, board members and community. Welcome to our board meeting for Thursday, September the 4th. I just want to say a few words before I hand it over to Superintendent for his comments. But as we have begun our school year back over the last week or so, I have been thrilled to travel around to our schools and see the amazing work of all of our educators in action, welcome our students back from summer. We have new teachers and new classrooms. We have new principals and new schools. And everywhere I go, I see enthusiasm and positivity that is resonating with our students and encouraging them to be all that they can be while they show up to school. So I just want to say thank you, Dr. Jackson, for your leadership in our school system and bringing so much positivity to our schools and our classrooms and being so supportive of all of our staff who show up every day to serve our students. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, parents, members of the community, board members, and teammates. Welcome to the 2025-2026 school year. What a joy it has been to begin another school year in Buncombe County Schools. Dr. Reed, Dr. Johnson, Mr. Cody, and I have each had the privilege of visiting all 45 of our schools during the first days of this year. And I can say without hesitation that the sense of excitement, belonging, and joy I have witnessed has been extraordinary. From classrooms filled with eager learners to hallways alive with energy, each school reminded me that the work we do together is both deeply meaningful and filled with purpose. This strong beginning is even more remarkable given the year we have just completed. We are still, in many ways, living into the recovery from Hurricane Helene, the worst natural disaster in our state's history. Even in the face of unprecedented challenges, our students, staff, and families rose with resilience and strength. Schools became not only centers of learning, but also centers of hope, of service, and of healing. Together, we overcame obstacles, supported our neighbors, and continued to advance the mission of serving each and every child. And rise we did. Despite the hardships, we celebrated another historic high school graduation season, welcomed statewide recognition for our instructional excellence, and sustained the positive momentum that has defined Buncombe County Schools. From being honored by the state of North Carolina as an academically and intellectually gifted promising practices district, to recognition of our school system as a top 100 employer in the state of North Carolina, we know these accomplishments were earned not in easy times, but in difficult ones. That makes them all the more powerful. The State Board of Education has received the 2024-2025 state assessment results. State assessments are a single data point for how students and schools are doing, but do not measure all that a student or a school accomplished in a school year. That said, they are an important data point. Following this data release, the Buncombe County School System has much to celebrate, particularly taken in the context of all that happened in our community last year. The key takeaway for me is that the cohort graduation rate for the class of 2025 is 91.4%. This is the second highest cohort graduation rate in the history of the school system, just missing the record set last year by 0.1%. The cohort graduation rate for the last 3 school years represents the 3 highest cohort graduation rates in the history of our school system. Some other quick takeaways this year include 25 out of 27 elementary and intermediate schools met or exceeded growth in reading. 31 of our schools met or exceeded growth overall. One school previously designated by the state as low performing is no longer carrying that designation. 4 schools improved by an entire letter grade on their school performance grades. 19 schools improved in grade level proficiency. As you would expect, the data release also highlights areas of growth that we are committed to addressing. Dr. Reed will provide detailed assessment results information in her annual report at our October school board meeting. This new school year, I'm excited that we will once again offer free breakfast and lunch for all of our students. We're entering into our 3rd year of working with and being led by our Teacher Advisory Council, our Exceptional Children's Advisory Council, our Student Advisory Council, and we'll be launching an advisory council made up of representatives of our hourly employees. Our teammates having an authentic voice in leading our school system is how we achieve such remarkable results and how we have become a top 100 employer in the state. As we step into this new year, we do so with the clarity of our new theme, Lead the Climb. Last year, we proved what it means to rise together. This year, we set our heights higher still. Leading the climb requires courage, steady leadership, and a willingness to support one another as we pursue the summit. I'm confident that our team has everything it takes to make this our most meaningful year yet. To our families and our community partners, thank you for the encouragement and the support you provide. To our educators and our staff members, thank you for your passion, your perseverance, and your deep, deep care for our students. To our board, thank you for your steady guidance and advocacy. And to our students, thank you for inspiring us each day to give our very best. Together we have shown that even when storms come, nothing can keep us from moving forward. This year, we climb with confidence. Mr. Chair, this concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Superintendent Jackson. Thank you for those remarks. It is now time for good news segment of our agenda this evening. Mr. Ulmer, you have the floor.
Good evening, Chairman Elliott, board members, Dr. Jackson, BCS teammates, and families. We are going to begin good news with recognition for a couple of students and their teacher for a special journey that they made together over the summer. Dr. Reed's going to help out with these presentations as we recognize Charlie Hurwitz, Owen Maccabee, and their teacher Nicole Osborne. They represented Cane Creek Middle School at National History Day in our nation's capital. If you could join us, please, along with Principal Andrea Britt, Mr. Elliott, and Ms. Churchill. Charlie and Owen created a website based on their research of the historic Plessy versus Ferguson Supreme Court case. They earned top scores at regional and state competitions, which led them to represent not only Cane Creek Middle School, but Buncombe County Schools and the entire state of North Carolina, along with Ms. Osborne at National History Day. They competed with students from across the country and around the world, got to see some historic sites in Washington, D.C. We would like to thank Charlie and Owen for being amazing ambassadors for BCS, and to you, Ms. Osborne, thank you for your leadership and for inspiring your students in their work. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Also tonight, we would like to recognize a teacher from the Progressive Education Program, Mr. Eugene Fortain. If you could please join us along with PEP Principal Dr. Thea Wilson, Reverend Martin, and Dr. Connor, the BCS Special Services Director. Mr. Fortain has been honored as an Educator of Excellence by the ARC of Buncombe County. The ARC is a community agency which empowers all children and adults to realize their highest potential through advocacy, education programs, and family support. Mr. Fortain earned the honor for his tireless efforts to support his students and believing in the potential of each and every one and making sure that their voices are heard. Thank you so much, Mr. Fortain, for your creativity, your passion, and for facilitating engaging educational experiences in your classroom and beyond. Congratulations, Mr. Fortain. Now a teacher who serves 2 BCS schools got a surprise classroom visit that she was the Academically and Intellectually Gifted, or AIG, Specialist of the Year. Ms. Carol Moore coming forward now. She works with students at both Avery's Creek and Sand Hill Venable Elementary Schools. Sand Hill Venable Principal Angela Gwynn is here, along with Avery's Creek Principal Ms. Lynch, if you'll join us, along with Ms. Lewis and Ms. Churchill, to help celebrate. Lead AIG Specialist Leanne Luttrell is also here, if you will come forward and join the group too. Ms. Moore was selected for her innovative work with students and also for her leadership and collaboration with all teachers at both Avery's Creek and Sand Hill Venable, along with AIG specialists from across Buncombe County Schools. We are pleased to say that she is our Buncombe County Schools nominee for the 2026 Gifted Educator of the Year Award, selected by the North Carolina Association of the Gifted and Talented. Congratulations to you, Ms. Carol Moore. And finally, this evening, Ms. Lewis, if you'll stay up front with us, because we are going to honor a student from Enka High School for being a leader not only for the Jets and the Buncombe County school system, but also a voice for students across the state. You can see she does not let obstacles stand in her way. Isabella Geyer coming up front. Ms. Katie Harris, the principal of Enka High School, if you'll join us as well. Isabella, Dr. Johnson's going to help us with this presentation because Isabella is supporting students all across the state. She has been appointed to the North Carolina Superintendent's Student Advisory Council. Of all the students, nearly 2,000 from across the state who applied, Isabella is one of just a dozen trusted to represent her peers from the mountains to the coast. Isabella is among the students that Superintendent Mo Green turns to for guidance on a variety of issues, from school operations to preparing students for what comes after high school and the overall school experience in North Carolina. While she is a senior at Enka High School, the work that she and the rest of the advisory council will do this year is meant to help students for years to come. Thank you so much, Isabella, for your leadership and for representing schools all across North Carolina. And as we wrap things up, last time we were all together, we announced the launch of BCS Parent University, a helpful series of videos on a variety of student opportunities and school system operations. We are going to drop the latest episode right here tonight. This is a video that will give our families primer in some family engagement and communication tools, and we're going to roll it for you now. Welcome to this edition of BCS Parent University, focused on some handy family communication tools. I'm Ken Ulmer, BCS Chief Communications Officer. You may have heard, as of August 2025, all public schools across the state have started using the new North Carolina Student Information System, or NCSIS, powered by Infinite Campus. Through the campus parent portal, you can access class schedules, attendance reports, assignments, and grades. Campus Parent is a great way to keep you connected to your students' teachers and your students' progress. You can set up your account on a web browser or download the Campus Parent app. That's free from the App Store. We've got you linked to instructions for setting up your account and helpful user guides on the parent portal page at buncombeschools.org. Now, on that same webpage, you'll find instructions for getting the Buncombe County Schools app. Once you've downloaded it and installed it, you can set up a variety of notifications through the settings. The app is the fastest way to find out about schedule changes due to bad weather, but you'll also find other useful information for any forecast, such as school calendars, lunch menus, and feature stories of activities happening all across the Buncombe County school system. It's an easy way to stay engaged with school. Finally, come along for the ride. BCS Transportation offers families the EduLog app for tracking your student's school bus. You'll get alerts when the bus is a half mile away from your stop. As a parent who is often running behind, that is super helpful. EduLog also offers real-time tracking of the bus with just a couple of swipes. Again, you can find details on all of these tools. NCSIS, powered by Infinite Campus, the BCS app, and EduLog from the parent portal page on buncombeschools.org. Get to it in just one click from the Student and Family Links button. And that's our time for now. Thank you so much for watching this edition of BCS Parent University, a production of the Buncombe County Schools Communications Department. So that's the latest. I promise that's the last element of this meeting that you actually have to see me appear in. But you can see the other videos featuring Dr. Jackson, Dr. Reed, and some of our other BCS teammates from that same parents and student link button on all the school websites and the buncombeschools.org website. So those are all there. We'll have more to add as we get through the school year. If we could have all of our good news recipients follow my friend Brianna for
Mr. Ulmer, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh yes, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chairman Elliott.
Can we please just give our communications department and Mr. Ulmer a big round of applause
Thank
for
you.
that great work. I know my family's been in Buncombe County Schools since 2013 for 12 years, and I know that all of you and the administration, and particularly you, Mr. Ulmer, in communications, have heard the call and the desire to get some communication in different formats. This is a very exciting format, and y'all are doing a fantastic job with it, and it's just, it is so exciting for me to see it now come to life because we've been talking about it for a while. So thank you for your hard work and diligence in putting together such good content for our families and students. This is fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, Brianna's going to take some group photos of our good news recipients. So those of you who were here, again, thank you for letting us honor you. If you will follow her out to take those photos. One more reminder that so many good things happening, especially in these first few weeks of school. You can follow it all at buncombeschools.org and by following Buncombe Schools on social media. Thank you, Chairman Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Ulmer. Well, next on our agenda are the strategic plan highlights, allotment model update. Tina Thorpe, I believe you're up with Luke. You have the floor.
Good afternoon, Chairman Elliott, members of the board, and Dr. Jackson. I want to thank you all personally for the continued support of the project that we're working on, the allotment model. And I'm so pleased tonight that we have an update for you. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Luke Rose, who has taken the lead, working hand in hand with our principals, our directors, and staff members to make this project a success. And so we're excited to bring you up to date on the progress that we've made. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Luke Rose.
Thanks, Tina. All right, I'm just gonna get set up here. All right. Good evening, Chairman Elliott, Dr. Jackson, and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to share an update on our position allotment project. This has been a big undertaking and has included the work of many across the district and will have a long-lasting positive impact on BCS for the years to come. Here is our agenda for this evening's brief presentation. We'll review the project vision and process, and then I'm excited to provide a progress update as we approach the halfway point of our work. This update will include an overview of the project stages, where we're at as of September 2025, and what the next year holds as we approach full implementation in the 2026-27 school year. First is a quick review of what this project is all about. Our vision is to create an allotment formula that guides staffing decisions in an objective, data-driven way. This will bring greater transparency, equity, and efficiency across the district. This new approach will also improve our annual budget building process. District-wide priorities are established, allotment formulas are adjusted based on those district-wide priorities, and a draft of the following year's budget can be projected earlier in the year. We will also be able to provide clear and prompt communication to all directors and principals via an allotment spreadsheet in the spring that lays out their projected staffing for the following year. Finally, we are building a standardized process for principals and directors to request additional positions, ensuring that requests are handled consistently and fairly. This is the process we've been taking with each director to create staffing formulas. First, we take inventory. Do we have a recorded staffing rationale for this position group? If so, what is it, and what are our initial thoughts or ideas about how the rationale is working? Once we understand how we're currently allocating staff, we do some research. How are other districts doing it? What is required by the state and/or federal government? And are there any industry standards that we can use to inform our process? Next, we get into the details. We gather the needed data and build an allotment model where staffing is allocated based on the agreed upon inputs. We then document the formula in an allotment manual ensure consistency and transparency. Each BCS position will have its own page in the allotment manual. In March, our CFO, Tina Thorpe, provided the board with an example of how we worked with Clark Wyatt and Rachel Bryant to renovate the custodian allotment formula. There was an appetite to rework the allocation of custodians, and so we spent quite a bit of time on steps 2 and 3 of the process, gathering data and building out a new allotment formula. There are other positions where there hasn't been an appetite or need to change our staffing methodology, and so it's been a shorter process where most of the work is on steps 1 and 4, centering on formula review and documentation. Next, I'll walk you through where we stand today and what's ahead. Once we received the board's approval of the project in March 2024, we have been moving through 3 phases of work. Phase 1, from March to December 2024, focused on defining the project scope and process. During this stage, we had the opportunity to learn from other North Carolina school districts who have come before us in crafting a position allotment manual. And in December, we brought together 14 team leads who would help develop staffing formulas for the position groups they oversee. This calendar year, we've been in the build phase, working with those team leads to review and or revise formulas for all 140-ish district positions. So far, we've worked through major areas like instruction, CTE, school nutrition, federal programs, EC, and transportation. Between now and November, we'll finish the remaining groups, including finance, communications, student services, technology, maintenance, and human resources. The final phase is full implementation in the 2026-27 school year. Principals and directors will receive clear staffing allocations in the spring for all positions they oversee, supported by improved processes and tools to make implementation smooth and consistent. A couple of our team leads asked for this work to inform decisions for the 25-26 school year, as they were looking for data-informed models to support objective decision-making. So for some positions, our formulas have already begun informing staffing decisions. To conclude, I want to thank Dr. Jackson, Dr. Reed, Ms. Thorpe, and the entire senior leadership team for their commitment to this work. Buncombe County Schools is a very large organization with thousands of employees and an annual budget in the hundreds of millions of dollars. By creating staffing formulas and modernizing our processes, we are building greater efficiency, transparency, and equity, all to ensure we continue providing an excellent education for the 22,000 students that we serve. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you very much. Ms. Thorpe, do you have any follow-up?
I do not.
Board members, do you have any comments or questions on this topic?
I'm really glad that Luke enjoys diving into data. And he certainly is impressive. Not only can he dive into it, but he can explain it to those of us that fall short of his ability to understand. And I thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoops,
sorry.
Chairman Elliott, sorry. I think this is work that has been needed for a long time, and I love the fact that we are really doing inspections of what positions that we need in all departments and all schools. I think that is something that we've needed, and I love the fact that we're going to be very transparent with that information, because people ask all the time about positions. So good job, and thank you for the work.
Thank you all so much.
Any other? Yes, thank you, Luke, for that great presentation. You do make great PowerPoints.
Thank you.
I've noticed this trend from you a few
Appreciate
times
it.
now, so
Thank you.
keep up good work. But just one quick question from me. So the example that we saw, I don't know, a few months ago with maintenance, there's a lot of rationale, right? There's probably some law behind that, right? Where you have to have a certain number of specific maintenance positions per ADM or per school buildings or something, but there's also a lot of other non-legal rationale that goes into your formulas. So I presume that sort of like the transparency that you showed in the run the maintenance approach, where the board and the public can see the full rationale, both legal and non, for the decision, for the allotments. I guess that will be available kind of for each department.
Yes, and that will be built into that manual that will be published, and it'll be on our website, plus every staff member, every director, every principal will have access to, and all of the formulas will be very transparent, along with what backs that up.
Okay, great work. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
all.
All right, now I believe it's time for public comment. Our attorney will
Thank you,
provide
Mr.
our
Chairman.
instructions.
Good evening, everyone. As a reminder, speakers will be called in order in which they signed up. All speakers will have exactly 3 minutes. I believe there is a timer on the other side of the dais where Mr. Cheatham is sitting. When 3 minutes is up, the red light will go off, and when you have 30 seconds left, the yellow light will go off, just as a warning. We ask that all speakers adhere to the guidelines set forth in board policy. We also ask that you refrain from making profane language, making threats, or revealing confidential student or staff information. Please address the board as a whole, and although the board is listening and taking notes, please know that the board does not respond directly to comment. I'll turn it over to Tim.
Mr. Chair, there is one public comment tonight. Craig White, please come down.
As you are well aware, public school curriculum is set at several levels. Broad educational guidelines for each grade level are set by the state. Those are refined at the district and the school level. And then teachers develop their own curriculum within all of those guidelines. At each level, there is transparency and accountability about that decision making. Except there's a new force in play, the force of bullying and intimidation. Book bans, DEI bans, don't say LGBTQ censorship laws, they've been routinely blocked by the courts as discriminatory, but they still have an impact. They have an impact through voluntary overcompliance. A principal tells their teachers, let's just remove those books this year just to be safe. A teacher sees their class roster and pulls a title or a topic because they just don't have the energy for a long, drawn-out conflict with that notorious parent. A media specialist is asked to remove certain titles, even with no complaints being filed. These decisions that happen behind the scenes means that there's no transparency, there's no accountability as books by people of color, as books with LGBTQ characters and families slowly vanish from our school shelves. And the summer Supreme Court decisions and the state laws that have been passed have made it even more difficult for teachers to teach and made it even easier for conservative groups to harass them. But teachers and students and families who want diverse books have civil rights too. I encourage all caregivers to review their children's curriculum, to talk with your child's teachers. If you find that the curriculum is silencing or invisibilizing immigrants, or people of color, or people who are LGBTQ, that represents indoctrination into a particular religious and political point of view, an indoctrination that is not permissible in America's classrooms. Your teacher may need your support in fighting for a classroom that has space for all students. And for you on the board, we need you to stand up we need you to stand up to the bullies. Whether they're coming from Washington, from Raleigh, or here in Buncombe County, we need you to stand up for families and for teachers.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that concludes public comment.
Thank you. Moving on, next on our agenda is our consent agenda. I just noticed something. Excuse me. Point of order. I failed to get that done. Okay. All right. Sorry. I noticed something on the agenda that I didn't catch before, but sorry. Back to where I was. I just wanted to clear that up with Dean. Our consent agenda, again, board members, if there is anything in the consent agenda that any of you would like to pull out for further discussion, please feel free to speak up. I will personally pull out one thing that I want to highlight, and that is the request to rename the school facility at Cane Creek Middle School. I want to express my appreciation to Principal Britt. Whenever you go into Cane Creek Middle School, her staff feel very well supported and very well loved and cared for. And this is an example of Miss Britt's compassion for her staff and support, and highlighting someone as important to the Cane Creek Middle School community as Miss Gwinnett. To rename the school stage in her honor is a great example of that, and I certainly support this initiative. But just, if you haven't read it, I'll just mention it real quick, that during her time at Cane Creek Middle School, Miss Gwinnett exemplified the very best of what it means to be an educator. She approached teaching with dedication, skill, and compassion, inspiring generations of students to strive for excellence both in and out of the classroom. Her passion for learning was matched only by her genuine care for each child. Many of her colleagues speak of the encouragement, wisdom, and warmth she shared, qualities that help shape not only students' academic success, but also their character. Ms. Gwinnett was an integral part of the Cane Creek community. She lent her time, talents, and heart to school programs, events, and initiatives that strengthened the bonds between students, staff, and families. She was more than a teacher. She was a mentor, a colleague, and a friend whose presence uplifted those around her. So I just wanted to take a minute and to reflect on that, and thank you, Principal Britt, for bringing this to us for approval this evening. Are there any other items on the consent agenda for further information? Our Policy Committee Chairman, Greg, if you have anything. These are for second reading, so we've already been through them twice. So.
I do have one question.
Okay, Miss Plemons.
Yes, just one question. On the request to dispose of public records, I noticed that there were some schools listed, but not all schools. Is there a reason for that, or, I mean, wouldn't all schools need to destroy records after a certain time?
So what we do each year, we do two times a year, we do an email out to all schools and departments. And we try to divide them up because of the load, the number of boxes and the number that we can handle during each disposal. So this time, it's this group that gets to go through and dispose. So we are dividing those each year, 2 times a year.
Okay, so after the second time, all schools will have that opportunity? Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Plemons, you okay? Our attorney just reminded me that as we pull things out of a consent agenda for further discussion, it's most appropriate if we vote to approve those separately and then approve the full consent agenda, so we'll do that. Since I went first there and I pulled out the request to rename the school facility, I will entertain a motion to rename the school facility at Cane Creek Middle School the stage after Ms. Gwinnett. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. The request to rename school facility at Cane Creek Middle School is approved. Secondly, Ms. Plemons, the request to dispose of public records. Is there a motion to approve the request to dispose of public records?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Back to the full consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda this evening? Thank you. Is there a second? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, the consent agenda is passed. Thank you, board. And thank you, Dean. Last on our agenda this evening are announcements and future meetings. The next regular Board of Education meeting is October 2nd, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the Monitorium. Work session updates and closed session begin at 4 in the Executive Conference Room at 175 Bingham Road, Asheville, North Carolina. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting. So moved. Is there a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.